RDS is a relational database service, and let's see what this service is going to do, how it is going to help. But let me give you a little bit of history on why we had to come up with a service called RDS. Let's see that. Let's say you want to run a database. Okay, so you are running and maintaining a database. Okay, what would be the activities you had to do? And I am talking about you maintaining these databases on your premises. Let's see. So if you run database on premises, what you have to do? You have to take care of racking and stacking of the database, right? You have to take care of physical servers. You have to take care of operating system, then apply patches, then run your database on top of it. Obviously, database would again require its own patching mechanism, so you have to take care of that patching too, and you have to take care of backup, high availability, and whatnot. So there are lots of things which you have to take into consideration when you are deploying things on premises. So people thought, hey, if Amazon is giving us a EC2 machine, why don't we take that EC2 machine? Because what is happening right now, I am responsible for managing everything. Everything is being managed by me, and maybe there is no reward in that. My competitor is also doing the same backups. They also apply the patches. So is it differentiating me from them? Answer is no. I am doing what we call undifferentiated heavy lifting, and we want to get away from it. We want to focus more on maybe optimizing my query, ensuring that my performance is better, ensuring that I can give better scalability, ensuring I can provide better security. It would differentiate me from my competitor. So that we call differentiating heavy lifting. So we don't want undifferentiated heavy lifting. So we thought, hey, let's do one thing. Let's take a database on EC2. So we take a EC2 machine provided by Amazon AWS. That means AWS is taking care of racking, stacking. It is taking care of physical server and operating system installation. We say what we need and we get what we need. Operating system could be Windows, could be Linux, it could be with SQL, could be without SQL. And now I'm not worrying about the physical infrastructure, cooling and ventilation, rack space. And what I can do now, I could then start building my database on top of it. So whatever operating system has been given to me by AWS, I would install patches, install my database, install backups, configure high availability, configure scaling, and I'm good to go. So that is managed by me. So yes, my work has been reduced little bit, but I am still doing a lot of stuff, and I would be calling this kind of mechanism is what we call an unmanaged database. It is a database, but it is unmanaged. You have to put efforts to manage this particular service for you. So that is a unmanaged database, which you are seeing here. So how AWS can help us in that case? Let's see that. What AWS can give you, it can give you a relational database service called Amazon RDS. In this database service, we would take care of everything for you. What we will do, we will take care of your racking, stacking, obviously, patching of operating system, our responsibility, database setting, our responsibility. Yes, you can influence by settings what you are looking for, and we would take care of that for you. But all of these becomes like a checkbox activity. Hey, do you need patching? Yes. Select where is the maintenance window, what time you want maintenance to happen. You want backup, put the schedule and we will take backup for you. You want it to be become highly available database, no problem, select one checkbox and we would take care of creating a standby copy for you. And whenever you want a scaling, we will say push button scaling, tell us what bigger box or smaller box you need, and we will take care of that for you. So that is all being managed by AWS. So that helps you. Now your database team can focus on optimizing the query. They can take care of data partitioning. They can take care of important stuff which will differentiate you from your competition. And that's what we call a managed database. Right. So this is all things are happening. Golangi, maintenance windows will still be required. I won't say zero time maintenance. Maintenance window would still be required because when we are applying patches, we would still require the same concept, like we will need maybe some downtime if a patch requires it, right? So that won't change. You will still require a maintenance window, but instead of you doing it, a team of expert in AWS in automated fashion is doing it. And before we make that patch available to customer, a lot of testing would have gone in our own environment to see if it is a stable patch or not? Will it create some problem when a customer would deploy it? So we will do lots of things. How much downtime? It would depend. It would depend on how you designed your system, because if you designed your system in highly available fashion, there would be no downtime. If you have a standby and a master or a primary, then when a patch is applied, we will first apply it onto standby, check everything is working fine, make it primary, and then we would apply it on your primary. So that will be no downtime, but it depends on how you have created your database services, right? So we will talk a little bit more on that as we move forward. Okay, so hopefully everyone is clear that how we will have our databases created, so managed and unmanaged. So what we will focus on here is Amazon RDS service, Amazon relational database service. What this RDS service is, best would be I show you a demo. Let's see how we can utilize it. Backup are stored in S3. It depends. You can say that, hey, I want to export and I want to bring it into S3. So it is your choice. We maintain it somewhere. We don't say it is a S3 bucket, but you have a choice to export your database backup and bring them to your S3 bucket to the same region, or if you want, you could copy it to another region also. Maybe your QA environment is in North Virginia and your production environment somewhere else. So you could take care of that copy, should not be a problem, right? Are they backed by EBS volume? Not exactly. It is little different because we don't want just crash consistent backups. Because EBS volume backup, if you are capturing, it is only capturing current state. What if there are some log setting which still has to be returned, right? Which still waiting to be returned to the database. And that's why we apply some more smart mechanism to ensure that the backup we capture is consistent and which is having integrity, which could be restored by better ways. So we will discuss that. Amazon has solution called Amazon AWS backup. You could utilize it, or it has its own mechanism. We will discuss those two. Let's focus right now on Amazon RDS. So I am on Ireland region and I have here a managed RDS service. Let's see how this service would help me and what options I have associated with that. Okay, so I am trying to talk to this managed service RDS here. Give me a minute. It's still loading. And this is a managed relation database service. Now, relational database service is where we give you a choice of selecting a specific engine. What we mean by engine? Engine is basically the database type you want to run. Do you want to run Oracle? Do you want to run MySQL? Do you want to run something else? So what we give you choice of different database engine, which is MySQL, Postgres, SQL, MariaDB. We give you choice of Microsoft SQL Server and Oracle, and we give you one more, which is called Amazon Aurora. So these are the type of engines which you could select from your database requirement. So that is what we will be doing in a minute. We'll see how we can go ahead and deploy these. So these are the 6 engine types. Now, can anyone tell me that why I have kept first line with 3, second line with 2, and third line with 1 only? What are the 3 grouping? What is the grouping criteria here? What you can relate from MySQL, Postgres, and MariaDB? Anyone? And what you could relate from Microsoft SQL and Oracle? Open source, yes, exactly. So open source, enterprise, and Amazon's own. So MySQL, Postgres, MariaDB, these are open source. These are ACID and non-ACID. No, everyone is ACID here. We are talking about RDS, which is all relational and which is ACID compliant. Yeah, this is license grouping. How the licensing work? MySQL, Postgres, MariaDB, and open source. Microsoft SQL and Oracle are commercial, and Amazon Aurora is Amazon's own proprietary database. So we'll discuss that. So first thing to get started is I would come to this RDS console, and here we have lots and lots of options to select from. You could select, hey, what you are looking for, what kind of database you are looking for. So select a region, tell what you need. So let's say I want to deploy a database. Go ahead, let's select the create database. Wizard driven process. Just select what you need, and we will be able to give you that required configuration, whatever you requested for. So I have to first select, am I going to use a standard create or easy create? Easy create, basically Some configuration can be changed after, but we would use some best practice based consideration. Hey, I'm not a database person. I don't want to go into nitty gritties of it. Give me something which you feel is the best for me, right? Sometimes we go to restaurant and say, hey, give bring us something what you think is best in your restaurant. That's a kind of a thing, easy create. Then as a standard create, I want little more control on what gets deployed for me. And here is what I was talking about. These are the 6 engine types for me to choose from: Aurora, MySQL, MariaDB, Postgres, Oracle, or Microsoft SQL Server. So you could decide on what engine you are looking for. Let's say I decide I am going to use Postgres SQL. So once you select it, the setting below it will change because now we are going into that very specific requirement of Postgres SQL. Now, if you see, I could select Postgres version, and if I selected MySQL, it would be a different way of selecting. And similarly, we give you option for commercial databases too, and those commercial databases are your Microsoft SQL and Oracle databases.